Dan Illman, Mike Beer kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 on Pegasus World Cup Saturday with race number 9, the Grade 2 Inside Information Stakes. Fillies and mares going 7/8 of a mile. Check out this offer from DRF Bets. You get to double your first deposit up to $250 when you sign up for a DRF Bets account at drf.com/bet. Let's meet the field for the inside information. This is a big field of fleet fillies and mares, and there is a lot of speed in here.
There's a lot of speed in this race and a lot of speed to the outside too. So I think you're going to see some horses leaving from the outside. This is another one of these races on this card, and it feels like it's a little. I know there are some short price favorites in here. This is kind of a wide open race.
Good news for the morning line favorite, the 7 Spice Perfection. We know she did go gate to wire last time out, but we also know that she can come from off the pace, and she's likely to be sitting off this fast pace, rallying late. Let's see if Timeform US agrees with that assessment. Yes, they have the number 7 Spice Perfection in mid-pack, right next door, the number 8 expected to make the lead. That's Bronx Beauty. She's very fast out of there. So is Heaven Has My Nikki. So is a bit of both. But there could be 1 or 2 others that could be pushing this thing also.
Yeah, there's not slow horses down on the inside either. It'll be interesting to see what happens with the 4, who they have sort of right in behind the lead on the pace projection, but that horse has shown nothing but speed in her 3 races.
Liza Star, the number 1's been on the lead in the pace call of her last 4 races, including this victory in the Claiming Crown Glass Slipper going a 1-turn mile. She's been on the lead from the start. She's going to dig in to win. She has won 6 out of her last 7 races, 7 of 14 in 2019. This is a big step up in class for a horse that was once claimed for $6,250. But you know something? With this kind of recent form, she deserves a shot.
Big improvement since Walder took over. The figures have gone way up, and she's 5 for 6 since Walder took over. That race that we just watched there, I mean, that was a pretty moderate pace, though, that she was on, and she got away late. It's going to be a totally different scenario here, and she's drawn to the rail, and it feels like a really tough spot for her.
Horse that might be flying under the radar is the 2 Wildwood's Beauty, who really loves 7 furlongs and has the tactical ability to stay close to the pace without being cooked up in a duel. She earned a 96 Beyer 4-back, a 94 Beyer 2-back. Last time out she was beaten. What was the excuse?
I don't know if she really had an excuse. JP's Delight got in front of her in that race. I didn't love the position this horse was in early in that race, and she just couldn't get to that horse in the stretch. I guess overall it's disappointing when you don't win as a 2 to 5 favorite, but I didn't think she ran terribly in that race, and overall her dirt form is just rock solid in the exacta in all 10 of her dirt starts, a couple of fast figures along the way, likes the 7 furlong distance, and I think she can get a good trip in this race.
Bounced out of that last race with a bullet 5 panels and 59 and change over this track, perhaps a live long shot from just off the pace. Baccarat Fashion won 3 back with a 97 Beyer speed figure, was sent up to battle on the pace on the outside, took over the lead and kept right on going, got cooked in the Rampart 2 starts back, and then last time out they cut her all the way back to 5 furlongs in an off-the-turf race, and she just got outrun. Let's take a look at that race right now. She's in the green with the big white blinkers, and she's just far, far out of it. She'll pass a tired one to finish 4th, but I don't think 5 is her game. I still think there are some class questions that she's got to address.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, but, you know, if nothing else, cutting back from a mile to 5 furlongs on the dirt is a near impossible task. I'm not going to hold that race against her. I don't know if she's really that 97 kind of horse that she was 3 back, but if she is, I guess she could give her a look in here.
JP's Delight, 3 starts, 3 wins, 3 fairly easy wins, including the victory over Wildwood's Beauty at Tampa Bay Downs, most recently at 7. Let's watch that race. JP's Delight likes to be close to the pace. She's taken over the lead right now, and she's going to keep to her task. You can still see that she's still learning the game, but the Beyer speed figures have been solid, and she's so lightly raced, I wouldn't be surprised if she takes another forward move. I think the main concern is that this will likely be the fastest pace she's ever seen in her career.
Yeah, a much faster pace and a much better field as well. There's a lot working against this horse, but she looks like she has a pretty good amount of talent.
In some ways, the number 5 Blamed is the key to this race, because from a class standpoint, she fits right up there with the Spice Perfections. She's a multiple graded stakes winner. She is a graded winner at Gulfstream, winning the Royal Delta last time out, way back on February the 16th. Now, she got an easy lead in this race, and she was confidently ridden on the turn. She actually had to work a little bit to hold off Hala Hala in the lane. We saw her drifting out a little bit. This long layoff has got to be somewhat concerning. If it was a mile, I might feel a little bit better. She's got to turn back to the 7. I'm not sure she's fast enough to control the pace. I guess she can sit off.
I guess she's going to have to sit off. I mean, we'll see how they decide to play it here. We'll see how fresh she is off the layoff. That race we just watched, the Royal Delta, I mean, she basically had that race handed to her. She went right to the front. Nobody went with her. She took no pressure at all in there, and you saw her sort of holding on at the end. I wasn't blown away with that win, Dan. I have a tough time buying into this horse. She's going to be a relatively short price in here, and off this layoff with some, I don't know, I think some sketchy form, even though she's a multiple graded stakes winner. I'm not taking a short price on this horse.
I wonder if Todd Pletcher has the now horse in here in the 6, Nona Madeline, who was an okay 2-year-old graded stakes placed, and then she went away for over a year, and Todd had her ready to go, going 7 last time out. She didn't break very well. That's been a theme for her, but maybe that'll be okay in a race like this because there's pace, and she can get herself into the race, as we see last time out. She didn't break. She's already in front as they turn into the stretch. And I thought this was a nice performance off the layoff. I don't think John Velasquez really had to go to the bottom of the well.
I agree with that. I think she really took a step forward in this race. It was off of a very long layoff, and you see how easily she wins here. This was, to me, a very big step in the right direction. You know, listen, there's a lot of speed in this race. She's stepping right up in class, but I feel like you kind of want horses like her off of races like that. It feels like she's really taking a step forward.
Again, the worry is she's not the greatest gate horse, but if they fly away from her, maybe at the 7 she'll have some chance to get into a rhythm and come with a run. She did come from off the pace in her debut. Spice Perfection, well, she's the most accomplished horse in this race by a long way, a multiple grade 1 stakes winner. Last time out, they stretched her out to a mile in the Go for Wand handicap, and the question going into the race was, can she get a mile? Well, when you go 24 and 349 on the lead against these kind of horses, you're going to get a mile.
Yeah, that certainly helped her chances in there. But, you know, listen,
she's just the best
horse. Just the best horse in this race. In that race that we're watching right now, she's probably the best horse. And here, too, a multiple grade 1 winner. She is the horse to be in this race. And you know what, then? She does not need the lead to be effective. There's a lot to like here.
We saw that in the TCA 3 starts back. A remarkable performance off a layoff where she didn't break at all, ended up in behind horses, split, and was on her way to a very nice effort over a Sharp Dawn the Destroyer and Mia Mischief, 2 horses that would take a lot of money in this race. She's obviously the horse to beat. You don't worry about her turning back. You don't worry about the pace situation for her. Bronx Beauty's fast, and underrated fast as well. This is a Pennsylvania bred who's done a lot of good work, winning 8 of 15 starts. Last time out in the Sugar Swirl, she ran into a sharp horse. Ladies Island came back to run against the boys in the Sunshine Million Sprint. Ran a 92 buyer, went second to one of your favorites, Extravagant Kid. I don't know why she wasn't that close to the pace that day.
Yeah, it's very interesting that she just didn't get anywhere near the early lead. I think that's been a sort of a problem for her. Every time they've tried her in a graded stakes company, the speed just isn't really there, and she just doesn't seem like she classes up. I feel like she could fit well in this race. I don't really trust her, and with her running style, with all the other speed in here, especially going 7 furlongs, it makes me want to take a stand against.
I think that's the key. 7 furlongs for her. I like her a lot at 6. I think she can get 6.5. 7 against top horses, where she's going to have to work from start to finish, might be tough, but don't count her out. She's run some fast races. Heaven Has My Nikki's going to remove blinkers. Now, she won the Vagrancy back in May, a graded stakes race, a race in which she was able to get right to an easy lead. I think the rail was pretty good that day as well, and she looked good winning it over Pacific Gale and Separation of Powers. Since then, they ran her in a nice spot for her at Thistledown, where she's 1-20, and she's been in tough in her last 2. The blinkers are coming off. Is that an indication that they want to try to take her off the pace?
I mean, maybe it is. I don't see why they would want to mess with it. At this point, she's 8 for 17 in her life, and now you're going to start changing things up. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll just go anyway, and maybe there's a different reason the blinkers are coming off. She's another horse I'd be a little concerned about the 7 in a race with other speed.
A bit of both is with 7 of 10 lifetime starts, but in the Sugar Swirl last time out, as the favorite, she just, again, couldn't get close to the lead. They ran away from her early, and I look at the pace scenario here, I see a similar situation. Can she sit and finish? It doesn't look that way off the PP lines.
It really doesn't. I have a tough time with this horse, Dan. I'm just not sure that I think she's that good. And because it's service, listen, they have her 12-1 on the line. If you like her at that kind of price, I'm not going to argue with this horse, but it feels like she could take some money in here, and I'm just not a big fan.
Pink Sands loves Gulfstream. This is her favorite track, and she's another one of those shug horses that gets good as they mature. Now, she got bumped hard at the start last time out. Might have been the best thing that ever happened to her, because the pace was electric in the Rampart. They turn into the stretch. Pink Sands is coming widest, and Pink Sands is eventually going to come fastest to run down cookie dough in this race. Good effort for Pink Sands. Going to get a same pace situation here. If it was a mile, I'd like her a lot more. 7, I think, is a little sharp, but with this pace scenario, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a carbon copy.
I wouldn't either, I guess. I mean, it feels like the race could set up the right way for her, and she did run well in that race. It set up well for her, but she actually really ran through the stretch. I'm not really buying into her, but she could get the right trip in this race.
Completing the field is the 12, Our Super Freak, who has won 3 out of her last 4 races and was purchased for $210,000 at the Keeneland November sale and has switched connections. Blinkers off for this race. Interesting considering she's been in such sharp form, but she is the kind of filly that is a little bit slow on paper, but might get the right setup.
Yeah, I mean, she can come running at the end of this race, I suppose. We'll see if she can take the step forward, because she clearly has to take a step forward.
Wide open race. We respect Spice Perfection. We think she's the horse to beat. We take a look at our top selections, however. We're going to take some small chances against the favorite. I'm going to go with Blamed, hoping that the great Bill Mott's going to have her ready to roll off the long layoff. You're going with Wildwood's Beauty, who does have a couple of races and loves the 7.
Yeah, she really does. I mean, it's going to be hard for her to win this race, but she could get the right trip in here. If everybody goes from the outside, she might fall into a nice trip in this race, and she does have races that make her fast enough. 2-7-4-5 for Mike, 5-7-11 for 1 for me, and the Grade 2 Inside Information kicking off a 50-cent pick 4 on Pegasus World Cup Saturday, approximate post time, 3:36 Eastern. Good luck.